Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us on our Mindful Monday. We have a special guest this evening who is the fantastic Shirley Anne Haig. She's a multi-award winning entrepreneur, ethical wealth coach, motivational speaker, and property investor with a heart for transformation. From growing up on a council estate in Liverpool to building a multi-million pound property portfolio, her journey is a powerful testament to resilience, purpose, and possibilities. With over 20 years of experience across property, business, and coaching, Shirleyann has become a leading voice in ethical, passive income, and financial empowerment. And she's known as the ethical passive income coach. So Shirleyann is the founder of Home Property Solutions and Inspiring Minds Group, and also Inspiring Women Whirl, where she uplifts individuals and communities by teaching how to create income with intention and integrity. She's also the founder of her, that's Inspiring Women Whirl, and she's got a new book coming out, and she's part of this dynamic network that celebrates female entrepreneurs rising from adversity as a devoted mother as well of neurodivergent children. There's so much to talk about this evening with Shirleyann, so thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Very well, but as you can see, always very busy. My life is about spinning lots and lots of plates, but it's just the way I enjoy life. So yeah,
Yeah, when
I
I
like to.
collected your bios to try and make them into something, kind of podcasty, there's just so much, and I couldn't pick and choose because it's all amazing. So how did it all get started for you? Let us hear about your story.
Yeah, so like you said, I grew up on a council estate, so there was no silver spoon. I always had ambition and drive. I started my career in sales and marketing, moved into the pharmaceutical world, so had a nice 20-year career in the pharmaceutical industry and loved my job and my life. But alongside that, while all my friends were buying shoes and handbags and, cars, I sort of downgraded my life and I invested all my bonuses and all my disposable income into rundown properties in the housing estate that I grew up in. And in a very short space of time, in my in my mid 20s, I had a property portfolio with around 17 properties in it. So it was, I learned very quickly. People saw what I was doing, and then people started saying to me, "Can you help us do that too? We'd like to invest." So sourcing became something that I did because people were saying, "Could you help us?" And we want to do the same. So it was kind of accidental at first, and then sort of fast forward 20 years, I simultaneously got divorced, lost my job, and my children got excluded from school. So I was kind of at a bit of a crossroads with what to do. And if I hadn't have had the passive income from the property investing, I probably would have lost everything. But that financial safety net saved me and it allowed me to reset, refocus, think about where my skills lied, and like you said, there were so many areas. So, helping people with children with neurodiversity, I managed to get the kids back into school and we got them the support that they needed. And that was something that was important. So, because of their needs, I needed a career that was flexible and I needed to think really strategically on how I could create money and income that gave me complete flexibility. And that's where all of the passive income theories came in. So I expanded on the property side of things. But instead of buying properties for me, I set up a business where I coached people from all over the world to invest in affordable housing in the Merseyside area. So it was a real win-win because the investors were able to make a small profit. People were able to stay in the communities that they'd grew up in. And the council got rid of their homelessness lists because we were taking on all of those people. So that was that. And then since then, I've set up, I'm part of a multi-level marketing business where I help people create passive income through promoting amazing products which help healthcare. And I also have become an author and I invite amazing people to come and write the books with me so that they get the skills of being an author so that they can learn that as a passive income tool. So everything I do at the moment is helping people understand how to create passive income so that you don't have to work forever. You invest a lot of time up front and then the income comes to you. So you have that flexibility. So that's what I've built my life around is finding all the ways in which you can create passive income and pass that on to everyone in multiple forms through the networking, through the books, through the coaching. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
That sounds amazing. And for people who are looking to take on these properties that are really low value and run down, what advice would you have for those people?
Well, I have been doing it for 20 years. And as a letting agent, one of the things that I would say is the affordable housing is in the most demand at the moment. So, as a letting agent, I can put a property, let's just say two up, two down in Liverpool, which is close to, say, Everton's old, like the old football stadium. I had 95 sort of requests to view a property in that road. And then if I let properties in really nice areas, I can have one or two a week, you know? So what people don't realize is people always think that if they invest, they need to invest in affluent areas because that's where they want to live. But what they need to realize is that that if you're an investor and you want to make the highest return on investment while buying in the areas where the most demand is, the best places to buy are in affordable areas. And that's what I teach through my coaching because people don't always understand that. And then you get a much better return on investment, and then you can reinvest your money and you can build a portfolio rather than just having maybe one. We can help you build portfolios. But as a management company, one of the things we find is the tenants who move into the affordable housing, they move in and they stay there. I've got tenants that have been with me 20 years, and 95% of my tenants never moved out. They're the same tenants. They make it their home, and it's very different to what people think on the outside. It's actually a very safe and a very stable way of investing.
Yeah, that's amazing. My family are actually from Anfield and Everton Way originally. I was born on the Wirral, but the rest of my family were from that side. And my dad was a printer on Walton Breck Road, and he was like you,
Yeah,
bought lots of little properties. Didn't really fix them up; they were a bit of hazard. But I remember growing up in that area, so I used to have to go there every Saturday. So that's quite interesting because they're really, and all the road names have got ladies' names and things around there. So it's a really kind of classic place to live
yeah,
and quite desirable because you're next to those football clubs as well. So some people would, they'd
yeah.
love to have that parking space, wouldn't they? And things like that. That's mad.
The properties that I buy at the moment, so I cover the whole of Merseyside. So personally, most of my properties are in Huyton and Dovecot, and I grew up in Huyton, so I was familiar with that area. They've become a lot more desirable now, so the properties are much more expensive to buy. So we tend to buy more in, sort of a mile or two outside of Liverpool city centre, Birkenhead, Wallasey, and the demand is huge. So, and also Ellesmere Port, we buy a lot in Ellesmere Port. But what we also do, and this is where we offer a very different strategy to a lot of agents. We buy properties with tenants in situ. So I connect landlords who are selling with landlords who are buying. And we basically make it a really smooth transition so the tenants are not disrupted in any way whatsoever. So that's a unique selling point, and it's helping prevent homelessness across the region, and just making everybody's lives easier.
Why do you think it's important? Because you called yourself the ethical passive income coach. So what's the ethical kind of strategy that you have?
So my theory is unless everybody wins, it's not a deal to be done. So if I'm doing a deal with a landlord, they have to get, what they are happy with. The landlord buyer has to be happy. The tenant has to be happy. And, we have to make it as smooth as for them. The rents have to be affordable, but at market rents so that, the lenders are happy, the buyers are happy. For me, it's all about balancing everybody's needs so that nobody wins and nobody loses. And if we keep to win-win solutions, then it's fair and it's equitable and it's ethical. And that's my sort of method, really, of operating across all of my businesses.
And tell us about the Inspiring Minds groups. I've been to Inspiring Women Whirl. I was lucky to go to one of those Christmas dinners, and it was amazing to connect with people of all different backgrounds here on the Wirral in a beautiful restaurant as well. That was great. So I really enjoyed connecting with everybody in the group, but I'm still in the WhatsApp, so I still follow along. Um, Tell us about Inspiring Minds group. What are you guys doing?
Yeah. So at the moment, huge amounts of things. So if I start back with, so 18 months ago, I set up Inspiring Women. And what became very apparent is we had a huge amount of talent within that group and people that had the same attitude that they wanted to give back. So I set up Inspiring Minds Group CIC, which was a not-for-profit organization, and our goal is to bridge the gaps in conventional education. Now, like I said earlier, with the ethical side of things, I don't compete with anybody. My motto is about collaborating and everybody has to win. So instead of competing, I went to the schools and the colleges and we work in partnership and we basically produce training courses with the skills of the Inspiring Women network, and then we offer those skills to the colleges. So the two things that were highlighted to us that were missing from the current education system was financial literacy and entrepreneurship. So we developed training courses to bridge those gaps, and we've been delivering those courses to, in particular, City of Liverpool College. Now, the results of those pilots went so well. We've just been invited by the principal of the college to redesign the way we teach business studies from September next year for all of the City of Liverpool College business studies students. So I'm currently bringing together business owners and entrepreneurs from across the Northwest region so that we can work with the current staff, with the teachers, and we can produce a training program that gives the children a real hands-on, practical, first-hand knowledge, bringing people together as through the networks and offering the businesses opportunity to engage with the college and help nurture amazing future staff, and the college just get an awful lot out of the knowledge from the business. So I'm leading on that with a wonderful lady called Hilda Yarker, who is the CEO of the John Haynes Foundation. So we're running a meeting in the college to bring all those businesses together on Wednesday. So if anybody is interested in actually being part of that, we would love you to come along 6 till 8 on Wednesday at Roscoe Street in the college, because we're rolling out the concept. But if anyone's interested and still can't make it, you can still be added to the group. But essentially, whether you want to add, one-off master classes to the kids, or, you want to come and do 1 day a month, 1 day a week, whatever you can give, we're collating that info and we're going to offer it to the college, and then we're going to put a curriculum together for September. So all of these things that I'm doing it's all tying together really well, because I'm working really closely. My co-director of Inspiring Minds Group CIC is an amazing lady called Katie Bowater. And Katie is the founder and the organizer of Young Entrepreneurs Club. She's been nominated as one of the Merseyside Women of the Year finalists. And the things that she does. So what she's part of the solution as well. She helped me along with Harriet, who's an accountant, to do all the entrepreneurship and financial things, that part of the training courses. but she's got a real amazing community and network. So for all these entrepreneurs that are coming through and they're young, they can feed into her network so they get ongoing support as well. So we've kind of put those safety nets in place for these people as well. So it's amazing the opportunities that are coming out of it just by connecting, collaborating ethically is amazing.
That sounds absolutely fantastic. Do you think continual professional development is important? And how do you work that into the things that you do?
So if I don't learn something new every day, I feel like I'm going backwards. So I absolutely love doing different things, pushing myself out my comfort zone and trialing things that I've never done before. And I think, we one of the things we teach on our training course is about, having a growth mindset and having an abundant mindset, constantly thriving for continuous development. And that's all part of what we do. So we do all practice what we preach. But I think, this is one of the reasons why I set up Inspiring Women Whirl, because I wanted to create a network where as a community, we can learn and evolve from each other's expertise by sharing each other's talents within the group and having that open community where we can all share, we can all go to each other's events so that we can learn and grow. So that's why it's a completely, I don't like exclusivity. I'm about inclusivity. It's an open forum. There's no competition. Everybody can put their events in. You don't have to ask me first. It's literally there as a platform for everyone to work together. I'm just the host. It's everybody's network, not mine.
That's really cool. And what's the most powerful lesson that you've learned on your journey that you'd like to share with people watching?
So something that I feel that is important is sometimes when change happens. So for me, one of the books, so I've got 4 books being published this year. One of the books I've been involved in is a book called Start Over, and it was the trigger for writing the other books. Now, that's all about losing everything and starting over. Now, I think when people go through bad times in their lives, they can become really disheartened and they can, let it really negatively affect them. And what I did, my biggest lesson was taking the situation and using it as a massive reset button, taking an inward look. Who am I? What do I enjoy? If I could redesign my life right now, because I don't have a choice, I'm at rock bottom. If I could rebuild from the foundations using my property head, how would I redesign my life to fulfill what I need to work around the children, to work around my needs, my health, my capabilities, my strengths, and what should have been something that was bad was actually the best thing that could have happened to me because and I think one of the biggest things, if we learn to reframe everything that happens to us as an opportunity for growth, that was the biggest lesson in terms of, what have I learned and what can I do differently as a result of this? And if I have an opportunity to be somebody different, who do I really want to be? And that was where this all came from. So for me, I learned that I needed to be around positive, like-minded people. I needed to grow every day. So I needed to, I needed to create an environment that did that. I needed flexibility. I needed passive income. So I reached out and found the solutions and put it all together. And then that has now resulted in opportunities I could have only dreamt of.
That's absolutely incredible, so inspiring. I had a start over moment in the last 18 months, and so professional with a construction and nuclear background, but I love doing my spiritual work. And you get to that point on the spiritual path where you just don't really fit in with the everyday mundane anymore. So it's getting harder and harder, and I've literally had to leave my job, and I feel good because I chose to do it in the end, and
Yeah,
settle into my mystical kind of life. But it has been really tricky, and there's a lot of women in their 40s who are having those kind of moments now where they suddenly think, I'm not going to put up with any of that stuff anymore, and they're having those
yeah.
start over moments. So tell us about your other books as well that are in the pipeline.
Yeah, so as I say, so Start Over is a book with Sir Marco Robinson, who's a Netflix producer, movie maker, Channel 4 TV, he had a show on Channel 4, property developer, coach, and he basically has brought together hundreds and hundreds of people, and I'm a co-author on that in volume 4. So that's about my Start Over. Now, the next book is called Limitless. So, Limitless is a book called Inspiring Women Redefining Success. So, I've invited 10 of the other Inspiring Women members to come and tell their journey. And what I wanted, and this was really important for me, is society kind of tells us this is right, this is wrong. We should all aspire to the same thing. We should all, go to school, go to college, go to uni, get a job, get married, have kids. And it's quite linear. Now, as a creative thinker, for me, I don't like boxes and I don't like linear. I, I believe that success looks different to everybody and nobody should be put in a box. So I wanted 10 people to tell their stories where they followed the conventional path and then they decided to come off it and go down their own route and what success looks like to them. And the stories are phenomenal. And I'm so excited to say it went on pre-order today on Amazon. So if you Google Shirley Anne Haig, if you Google, I can send you the link to share within your group. So the pre-order goes out today. The Kindle is available from the 20th of June and the hard copy is available from the 4th. We've got a book launch for that in the Row in West Kirby on the 20th of June. So again, if you want to join us for that, please do. So that's those two books, and they're about sort of starting over in business. Now, I mentioned earlier my children are neurodiverse. So I found out last year I have ADHD, and it explains a lot of the out of the box thinking, the creativity, the sort of the ethicalness, always wanting to do the right thing and bringing people together. So, one of my children is ADHD and the other child is autistic, like his dad. We realized that one of the reasons, we got divorced was we had a very neurospicy family and we struggled. We co-parent, we're friends, we're business partners, but we realized we were on two very different paths. So we separated very amicably. But what I realized with my children is the problem in society with neurodivergent children is they get put on these paths and they're criticized if they don't fit into these molds when actually we've called the book Embracing the Extraordinary because these kids are not normal, they're extraordinary, their brains are creative, they think differently, they're not wrong and they're not bad, they're just creative, different thinkers. And it's for us in society to make people realize that. So we need to make the world neuro inclusive, but we need to celebrate the differences instead of penalizing them. So I did a very similar thing. I got 10 wonderful parents who struggled on the path of sending their kids through the conventional paths, and we've put together a book which talks about the journey, the struggles, the emotional highs, the emotional lows, and it's full of tips and all the things that have helped us succeed and achieve, getting the best for our children in the world that we live in. So it's not a manual as such, but people say there's no manual. It's like, well, this book is going to be, it's the stories are really heartwarming because they're from the heart and they're from the parents and the journeys that they've been on. So that's that book, which is due out in September. So we're just in the final stage of editing for that now. And then my final book, which has been written, but it just I need to do one at a time because and the final book is called Boundless. And Boundless is all about how to create multiple streams of passive income. And that's taken all of the work that I do and all my coaching and my day job. And it's basically it's a step-by-step guide on how to create a flexible life where you get time freedom and money freedom by making choices that allow you to earn money when you sleep rather than trading time for money. So that's going to be out at the end of the year.
So for people who are watching who feel like they're at rock bottom and they've got direct debits bouncing left, right, and center, and they're, the money's coming in, but it doesn't seem to be enough. Have you got any tips or advice that you could offer to those people, or just words of wisdom to help them stay motivated and focused?
So I would say that money mindset, your mindset around money is one of the biggest contributors to your financial success and stability. And I run coaching and training around that because having an abundant mindset isn't something that we're born with. It is something that we have to work on every day. And you have to believe that you have it. You have to basically practice gratitude every day for what you want as if you've actually got it. So every day, don't say, I've got no money. Say, I'm enjoying all the money that I have. I am abundant. Money flows naturally. I can do whatever I want. But the other thing as well is a lot of people in today's society are obsessed with things. And one of the things that I do is I teach people about, you know, the things that actually mean the most in life are actually free. And maybe it's because I did come from nothing. Now that I have money, all that money goes into helping other people, providing housing, creating training courses. I get more joy from spending time with people, walking on a beach, learning something new. And those things, those materialistic things, those feelings might last you minutes. But when you actually get into, when you find out who you are and what you are, and you live with an abundant mindset and a gratitude, like grateful mindset, all of a sudden your life changes. It doesn't matter whether you've got a lot or you've got, nothing at all. You can have rich people who are miserable because nothing's ever good enough. You can have poor people who are happy because they're grateful. The key to life is just being grateful for what you've got and taking every opportunity that's given to you because it's your vibration, it's your innermost feelings, it's your mindset, and just going out there with an open mindset, always saying, how can I? Never say I can't, always say, how can I? How can I afford a holiday? And you'll just have to make changes, but you're focusing on what you can do, not what you're losing. And that's what I would say. Too many people focus on things and what they haven't got, and just flip that narrative, and everything changes. It really does.
So is there a spiritual side to you? It sounds like there might be. And
There really
yeah.
is. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a Reiki practitioner as
Oh wow, I
well.
had no idea.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
So I don't practice as much as I'd like, but I am. So yes, I am incredibly spiritual. I do a lot of Kundalini yoga. I practice Reiki. I practice mindfulness, abundance, sort of goal setting, and that's all part of my money mindset training course that I run. I do a 4-week training course every couple of months, and I have people from all over the world joining and coming to join me. But yeah, people have said it really has helped them.
Yeah. How do you think your intuition has played a part? Because I feel like your intuition is going to be spot on. Do you ever get the really strong knowings coming in?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's also part of the ADHD. I think having a neurodivergent brain, people say to me, you don't just connect dots, you create them. So I'm a very future driven person. So everything I do is goal driven. And this is what I teach on the training as well. It's really important to look forward and plan in detail what you want your life to look like. And then just work backwards with a very simple plan, what you've got to do, and then start moving forward every day in that direction. It's not rocket science, but the trick is to be able to intuitively look forward and actually create the future. So it's not being able to see in the future as such, but I think the ability to see forward and plan that far ahead is definitely contributed to my success and, how I help others be successful too.
Yeah, I find it difficult to stay focused. And you get a notebook, and being neurospicy, you end up getting a new notebook for every idea, and then you lose that notebook, and then you need another one. And so I
Yeah.
have been trying to write a book for about a year, and also design an oracle card deck. But at times, it really is hard to stay motivated and focused while you're trying to bring in that passive income at the same time. So how do you balance writing the books and doing the salary type work or whatever? Well, how
Yeah.
do you do that? Yeah.
So the truth is, ADHD, hyperactivity has been my gift in the fact that I would describe myself as the Duracell bunny and I don't ever run out of energy. So I've just redirected how I spend my energy. So for the last year, because I'm a single mom, I don't have a partner. So and my children are at an age now where they are very, very self-sufficient and they like to do their own thing. So I've had evenings to myself. So I would literally just do the day job in the day and I'd write the book in my evenings and weekends. It's amazing how much you can get done in an hour a couple of times a week. It's all about dedicating that time. And what I would say is, you know, put the time down on the computer. Don't write it in a book. When you're writing the words on the book, the books get lost. I found a pad, exactly what you're talking about, where I'd started writing a book from 10 years ago the other day, and another one from like 5 years ago. For me, it came when I just sat down at the computer, and I'm not embarrassed to say I did use AI to help me because what I found's really good. I run training courses on this as well. I tell the story to ChatGPT and I ask it to convert it into an emotive story that the readers will connect with. And it's still my story and it's still my words, but it edits it for me in a way that the reader connects with more. So I would say that has been an amazing tool that I've used for myself in today's technology. Why wouldn't we use it?
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I teach
100%.
people
Yeah.
how to use it. So the key for me was just getting your story down on paper,
Mm.
getting everything down that you want to say, and then chapter by chapter, get an AI to actually edit it. And then before you know it, you've got a book. And it's so much easier than you think, but just regurgitate everything without thought or edit onto the piece of paper, onto your laptop and then edit it. And that's how I literally had this concept in January and I've got a published book with 10 authors, 10 stories in June. That's how quickly we've
That's
done it.
fantastic. Yeah. Because
And
I
nearly
am
all
using
of our authors,
ChatGPT. I do use ChatGPT because I think it's important for the spiritual positive community to use that technology. So it's not just full of negative energy. So I do actively use it and work with it to get to turn it into a spiritual guru, basically, is what I do with my ChatGPT. I call him Ivan and he co-creates with me. So I use that. So I have been kind of drafting books and things through that. And even some of my courses now, I've increased my productivity by about 40% by using ChatGPT. So for people like me who are a perpetual seeker, but like yourself, always with hands in many pies, learning something new, it has been a really great tool, I think. Yeah, really
yeah.
important.
And it's remembered everything that I do. So when I go into it, I go, right, we're back on this subject now. Can you remember that?
Yeah,
And it might have like, it might have told me 30 things since then, but it just goes back to that subject and carries on.
yeah,
And it's amazing once it gets to know you. So now that I've written like 4 books through it knows me better than I know myself. So I'll ask it to write a bio. I'm going on this show, write me a bio.
yeah,
And it'll write a bio and I'm thinking, oh my God, I forgot about all that. And it remembers stuff that I
yeah.
even don't remember. But because it knows me because of the 4 books, it's
Mm.
actually quite scary, but it's absolutely
Yeah,
phenomenal.
that's how I
So
got your bio today. But I scraped, information from all of your different websites and things, and put it all together to create something different, but still you, but in my style, kind of thing. So that's really
yeah, no,
cool.
it was fabulous. Yeah, you made me sound great. Thank you.
And what's next for you? Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? What would you
So
love to do?
So my goal for the next year, I'm going to be involved 1 day a week in rolling out this training course in the college. Alongside that, I want to digitalize all of the modules that we're teaching, both the students, but also for adult, business owners. I want to create a basically a set of training courses, every aspect of business that someone might want to go into, plus the property training, plus that. And then my goal is to travel the world and be able to be anywhere. The whole point of my passive income was, create a business that you don't need to be part of. Put the systems and the staff in place to run it so you can step away. I'm part of a multi-level marketing team where I sell the most amazing healthcare products, which are preventative instead of cure. And having worked in the pharmaceutical industry, having gone more holistic over pharmaceuticals, this sits with me because taking natural supplements to prevent health conditions is much better for the world than actually, you know, curing the side effects with a pharmaceutical product that gives you loads of side effects. So I've got that as well. But yeah, it's mainly everything I'm doing is allowing me to be anywhere I want to be in the world. I've got friends coming over who live, Dubai and Canada and Florida. And we're basically looking at expanding what we're doing in different places. So for me, that my future involves lots of travel and digitalizing everything that I do so I can be anywhere in the world to do what I do. That's the plan.
That sounds like a great plan. I have a very similar plan actually. I do have courses that are digitalized. I use Thinkific platforms so people can just log on and work through the videos that I create and that kind of thing. So for my mystical courses. But I used to travel, so I'm a traveler. So I've been back in the UK about 10 years, but I'm really dying to start traveling. My son he'll be 16 in December. So once he finishes high school, I'm probably going to be a lot more flexible with where I'm living, because I have Peru calling me, and I've got this vision of a villa that has a swimming pool, and I've never lived anywhere like that before. But that's come
Yeah,
into my awareness that it's there waiting for me. So I don't know if it's going to be in Peru or somewhere else, but it sounds amazing. Maybe it's in Spain at your retreat. Tell us about your retreat. Yeah, before we finish.
absolutely. Yeah, so this is the thing. So because I want to involve more travel in my life, again, I just create it. So the retreat is in a place called Anchorhaven, which is up in the mountains, halfway between Malaga and Seville. We've basically hired an olive grove from the 15th to the 19th of September. We've got the whole place to ourselves. It's got a huge swimming pool, outdoor bar. We've got caterers in to come and do a theme night every night. So we've got a paella night, barbecue, Spanish night, and then one of the nights we're going to go to the beautiful restaurant on the lake. We've got entertainment every evening. And what it is when I said earlier, I create opportunity for people. So it's a talent share retreat. So all of the guests are invited to come along to be an international speaker. So they get to add that to their CV, to their bio. So they come and they present. So we've got people who are fitness instructors and they're going to run, fun everyday fitness classes. Now, one of the things I want the retreat to be is a balanced retreat. And when I use the word balance, what I mean is I've been on retreats where it's all yoga and health or all business. And what I want this to be is a little bit more like life itself. Let's go and do some exercise. Let's do some business. Do something spiritual. Then let's go and have some fun. Let's go and have a walk. And then let's do something in the evening and connect. And every day, I want a real mix of those things because I think sometimes if you do too much of something, it can overwhelm you. So I want to keep that balance. So there's got to be an element of exercise, spiritualness, and business focus equal amongst all of it.
Yeah, that sounds really good. One thing I've noticed with my retreats is sometimes people just need to sleep because,
Yeah,
yeah, because we're so kind of like go, go, go that sometimes there needs to be that downtime for people to say, actually, I'm not going to apologize, but I need to go and have a nap in the afternoon, and that's okay. So I
absolutely.
generally can't try and plan that into my retreats as well, because I've been on summer camps and things like that when there's loads of activities going on. I thought they all sound great, but I'm going back to my bed
Yeah.
because I've got this going on in my life. I'm overwhelmed with this. I need to nurture myself. So I plan that in as well. Yeah. So that sounds
And you
amazing.
just need to, you know what your own social battery is as well.
Yeah.
And it's having that understanding that we're all different. And some get our energy from people, some get our energy from isolation, and
Yeah.
making sure that there's enough flexibility and so that people have that freedom and flexibility to do what's right for them, for their energy.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, because we do public speaking and travel around, I'm great in front of big audiences, but small ones, not so much. If I'm in a small meeting in a small room, then I get social anxiety. But I can do a big talk, you know? So it's
Yeah.
weird how some of us kind of fit in and what feels comfortable. You have to try and plan for that as well. It's really mad. So tell everybody
Yeah.
how they can connect with you, how they can find you. And this has been amazing. Thank you so much. We've really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. So the easiest way is I've got a website and it's shirleyann.haig.com. So it's SHIRLEYANNHAIG, number one. Sorry, so shirleyanhaig.com. And then my email is shirleyanhaig1 at gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram at Shirley Anne Haig. You can find me on Facebook, Shirley Anne Haig. And then you can find me on Instagram with Inspiring Minds Group, CIC, Inspiring Women, and then also Home Property Solutions. But if you just look for myself online, you should see everything come up. But my website will take you to every single aspect, every part of the business you can link into through my personal website. So that's probably the easiest way to do it.
That sounds perfect. Oh, thank you so much. And we'd love to have you come back on actually. Let us know when the books are coming out fully and that kind of thing. And then we can do more interviews perhaps. That's been great.
Absolutely. And if you ever want me to do any coaching from the passive income side, more than happy.
Yeah, we'd love that. We really would. Yeah.